The one who is at play everywhere says, there is a space in the heart where everything meets. Come here if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are here. Are you here? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Listen to the song that is always resonating. Give yourself to it with total abandon. Quiet ecstasy is here, and a steady, regal sense of resting in a perfect spot. You are the embodiment of blessing. Once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return. Again and again, answer that call and be saturated with knowing, I am here, I am home. Your Life as Sacred Ground by Mirabai Starr. Welcome to the temple of your regular life, the garden of your days, the harbor where you catch your breath, the theater of your relationships. This is the terrain where you wake up and transform. The sometimes chaotic, frequently fraught, unexpectedly beautiful domain of the everyday. You do not need to trek to a remote shrine in the Himalayas, enroll in expensive seminars, or convert to a new religion to connect with spirit. Your life is holy ground, and you are a mystic. This is how Mirabai Starr, a remarkable spiritual teacher and author, opens her beautiful and transformative book, Ordinary Mysticism. In this book, Starr, through many examples, many of her own experience, attempts to demystify mysticism and endeavors to show us how the sacred, the numinous, resides at the very heart of the common life experience of each and every one of us. Deep theological knowledge, weekends at faraway ashrams, or long pilgrimages to holy sites, though significant and helpful, are not necessary. The only requirement is to develop the eyes to see and the heart to feel the presence when it flashes forth or peeks out between the folds of our daily lives. She starts out by reassuring us that it is not necessary to be religious in the conventional sense to have mystical experiences. In fact, she points out organized religion can be an obstacle to direct experience of the sacred. She continues, most religious institutions insist that you purchase their brand of God and forsake all others. Not only do they demand exclusivity, but they require intermediaries for anyone to even hang out with the divine. And once you do, there is no talk of actual intimacy with the Holy One. The function of most clergy and their customs is to get you to live whatever they deem to be the godly life, not to actually connect with God, let alone become one with God. That treads on the territory of blasphemy. She also explains that the God you don't believe in is also the God she doesn't believe in. The one you learned about in Sunday school, who is an old white male who is constantly pissed off. But, she asks, is there a stirring in your soul, a sensing of presence of something vast and loving? Whenever you reach the summit of a mountain, walk the beach at sunset, or look into your grandchild's smiling face. She says, my God both transcends anything I could conceive of and lives inside everything I know and do and am, even religion. God sometimes can be found in the temple and the mosque, the chapel and the ashram. However, the trick is to recognize anything that dares to stand in for the real thing and let it go. Anyone who claims that they alone hold the key to truth, any community that compels conformity and denounces the other, step away from that. Mystical experience is an intimate connection with love itself. The world's wisdom ways have never stopped guiding me, she says, and sustaining me, but I no longer endow them with any more power than the potential of a rainstorm to reveal the deepest secrets of the universe. So let us look at Mysticism 101, the process of beholding how the divine overflows the banks of everyday life, and how you can begin to perceive your own life as sacred ground. From setting your intention to walk a mystical path, to cultivating your capacity to perceive everything as sacred, to learning from the wise ones who have come before you, and recognizing your own innate wisdom, to building and tending community, and harvesting the sweet fruits that ripen in the dark nights of your soul, to relinquishing the notion that enlightenment is a one-shot deal, and daring to live as a lighthouse of love in this stormy world. Agnostic or true believer, scientist or hospital chaplain, retired or building a career, this book is a little bell for yourself to remember how luminous you are, how connected and noble and miraculous. Yes, every one of us sitting right here. To be a mystic in our times is not about renunciation. It is about intention. Living as a mystic means orienting the whole of yourself toward the sacred. It's a matter of purposefully looking through the lens of love. When you say yes to cultivating a mystical gaze, the ordinary world becomes more luminous, imbued with flashes of beauty and moments of meaning. The universe responds to your willingness to behold the holy by revealing almost everything as holy. You can start right here in the middle of your messy life, your beautiful, imperfect, messy life. There is no other time. And the exact place you find yourself is the best place to enter. Despite what they might have taught you at Bible camp or in yoga class, you are probably not on your way to some immaculate state in which you will eventually be calm and kindly enough to be worthy of direct encounter with the divine. Instead, set your intention to uncover the jewels buried in the heart of what already is. Choose to see the face of God in the face of the Uber driver and the moody clerk and the moody checkout clerk at the grocery store, in peeling a tangerine or feeding the cat. Mean it. Open your heart, and then do everything you can to keep it open. When we make a pact with ourselves to show up for reality just as it is, reality rewards by revealing its hidden holiness, its ordinary wonder, its fruitful shadows and radiant wounds. Not always, not everywhere, but more and more often, and in places we least expect. Mirabai continues, setting the intention to walk the way of love rescues us from the all-consuming preoccupation with the movie of me, in which we endlessly stare, casting ourselves as both hero and villain, keeping up with an endless flow of critical reviews, claiming the plot of our regular lives as sacred ground, can dispel the clouds of self-absorption and calm the monkey mind that bounces from banana to banana and steady our twitchy nerves. It takes effort to find gold in what you once discounted. Your own aging skin and ethnic nose, the less than attentive waiter, and the slow driver on the one-lane road. But it gets easier. Your wonder muscles grow more and more robust, and your capacity for appreciation expands. She also urges us to stop firing our feelings. They are the messengers of wisdom. Another amazing woman, Episcopal priest, mystic, and author whom I ardently follow is Cynthia Bourgeault, a scholar of the Desert Fathers of the first 4 centuries of Christianity, who tells us that in Christian mysticism, the heart is a divine guide given to us to navigate our earthly existence. Modern research has shown that the heart has an astonishing plexus of over 30,000 neural cells that comprise another brain. The heart and brain are meant to work together. Anger, Mirabai tells us, may contain information about boundaries you have allowed to be transgressed for too long, infusing you with the energy to start asking for what you need. Your despair can connect you to the suffering of the world, cracking open your heart so that compassion for all beings can flow in. Moments of contentment are wrapped gifts from the universe. Unwrap them. Grief can be the most potent feeling of all, and the one from whom society tries its best to distract us. And yet, it is a crucible for transformation. Excuse me. Inside the well of sorrow, our souls are remade. When we choose to stay present in the face of suffering rather than turn away, self-medicate, or try to fix it through spiritual bypassing, which is using beliefs and practices to check out of reality, it can become a threshold to sacred space. Loss is an invitation to inhabit the sacred space of the unknown. Mystics of all traditions tell us that the unknown is the place where we come to know God. Continuing, Mirabai points out that our ideas of what it means to be spiritual prevent us from living an engaged spiritual life. Must you leave your job, your suburban life, cancel your gym membership? Do you even have to believe in God? I think we've seen the answer is no. She continues, to my great relief, you can drink Prosecco and still be spiritual. You can be in love with your favorite human and find the God in love, of love residing in your relationship. Sleeping in does not break your vow to dedicate yourself to the liberation of all beings. It just means that you are tired of holding up the world and are taking a minute to recharge. It's important to remember that many of the mystics we revere today, Francis of Assisi, St. Clare, Teresa of Avila, and John of the Cross, were rebels and iconoclasts in their time. This validates a suspicion that I've had deep in my being for my whole life, and is recently becoming more powerfully conscious, that in viewing the whole world as sacred, and the whole of your life as it is, lumps and all, sacred, that it means, most importantly, that you, yourself, as you are, in your unique imperfection, are also sacred. Therefore, it's important to populate your space with symbols that speak to you of the sacred, and make shrines, altars, or if that alarms you too much, personally special spaces where anchors for your relationship to the holy can reside, and remind you to open your eyes and heart to the sacred that awaits to reveal yourself to you this very day. Roses from your backyard, your mother's wedding ring, a photo of you and your father leaning against the family car, your grandfather's pipe, a particularly perfect pine cone collected on a walk, a candle, a brass chime with a beautiful tone, perhaps your favorite incense or essential oils. These things touch our inner selves and unite the inner with the outer realities of our lives and make us whole in our belonging in our particular nook in the entirety of creation. I have spoken to you about my spiritual journey before, and I have to share again how my opening up more fully to this invisible but nevertheless quite tangible area of fundamental experience has changed me and changed my life. In balancing my exterior life by really opening up to the equally enormous interior reality has enriched me beyond measure, has strengthened me to really experience life in all its permutations and to truly grieve without losing my life's meaning, the loss of my wonderful, funny, unbelievably generous, sometimes grumpy, deeply loving, and supporting husband, Robert. I read somewhere that when we really love someone, it's good to take on some aspect of them and incorporate it into oneself as a living monument to the significance of their life and to the significance of their life in yours. I have done that and continue to do it with the music that he gave me, that I benefited from and shared with him in our life together, and that I inherited from him with civic jazz and my own place in the Houston music community. I am fully standing on my own musical feet now, at times unsteadily, but my legs are getting stronger. It can get crazy, confusing, scary at times, frustrating, but somehow, to my wonder and deep gratitude, it keeps coming together. And when the music strikes up, true interrelatedness. Perhaps a little roughness at the beginning, but the magic comes. Unity approaches and arrives. All the parts in harmony, sacred communion and profound feelings, whether sadness and loss or celebration and joy, true interconnectedness. The notes and the strikes that we produce weave a wondrous audible web of sound that contains us each in our uniqueness and in our relatedness. And together, with the sacred energy powering all, this we are indeed a whole that is greater than the sum of our individual selves. I have just opened up and released some general truth from the accessible wisdom available in Mirabai Starr's wonderful book. So together with her, I encourage you to open your heart and develop a relationship with the loving, animating energy that is this life, in which, as Paul says in Acts 17:28, we live, move, and have our being. Amen and namaste. And forgive my emotion. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.